What we like to say is welcome to the center of the universe, because you're at Broadway in Columbus right now, and everything that happened with the Beat Generation happened right here at this intersection, Broadway and Columbus, and it happened because of City Lights Bookstore. They've been located right across the street since 1953, and when I was a young man living in Parkville, Towson, I bought a copy of Ferlinghetti's Coney Island of the Mind at Towson Books, right at York Road, Delaney Valley Road. And it changed my life. I mean, that whole book of poetry literally changed my life. It doesn't have a title, it's just number 5. But it says, sometime during eternity, some guys show up. And one of them who shows up real late is a kind of a carpenter from some square type place like Galilee. And he starts wailing and claiming he's hip as to who made heaven and earth, and that the cat who really laid it on us is his dad. And moreover, he adds, it's all writ down on some scroll type parchment, which some henchmen leave lying around the Dead Sea somewheres a long time ago, and which you won't even find for a couple of thousand years or so, or at least for 1947 of them to be exact. And even then, nobody really believes them, or me for that matter. You're hot, they tell him, and they cool him. They stretch him on a tree to cool. And everybody after that is always making models of this tree with him hung up, and they're always crooning his name and calling him to come in and sit in on their combo as if he is the king cat who's got a blow, or they can't quite make it. Only he don't come down from his tree. Him just hang there on his tree looking real petered out and real cool. And also, according to a roundup of the late world news from the usual unreliable sources, Rio dead. So the Beats were all about spirituality. They were all about finding your own path in the world. They were all about living your own authentic life. And it started with a handful of books. A book of poetry called Howl, written in 1955, published in 1956, put on trial for obscenity in 1957. This is the publisher, Lawrence Ferlinghetti. Literally could have gone to jail for years for having the temerity to publish a poem that happened to include some 4-letter words. He was acquitted, of course, and that's why we're here, because it made him famous. The Howl trial made the Beat Generation famous, because everybody wanted to read the dirty book. Everybody wanted to see what all the excitement's about. So 50-some years ago, he opens up City Lights Bookstore in 1953, and here I am all these years later, right across the street, looking at his office from my desk. It's kind of interesting. So On the Road is published in 1957, and it is about 2 young men, Jack and Neil. Jack writes the book, Neil's the protagonist, and it's a story of 2 young men stealing cars, chasing girls, smoking pot, and raising hell across America. And of course, it's a deeper story than that, but it's a spiritual quest is what it is. Now, they're actually making a major motion picture out of this now. Francis Coppola is the executive producer.
It's big.
Walter Sallis has been here a few times. He did Motorcycle Diaries. These guys know how to make movies. And all the cast is really dedicated to this. I mean, they've all read the books when they were young, and they've been dedicated to the project. Kristen Stewart read the book when she was a young woman, and she's been attached to this project since before she did the Twilight stuff.
Wow.
And the thing I love about her being involved in it is every girl in America, around the world really, is going to come see this movie because she's in it. And they're going to drag their 16-year-old boyfriends to come see them. So I think it's going to have a huge impact, and I think it's in good hands with these filmmakers.